guys? Eli here, back for a CD collection video. So as always, 10 CDs off the shelf in alphabetical order. Before we start that, I still have a couple different releases that I have for sale that I got from Lunar Apparitions out of Spain. So those they're going pretty fast on Discogs, but I thought I'd just throw these out here again because I can't remember if I did or not. But yeah, let's see what I got. So like I said, 3 releases from Lunar Apparitions out of Spain, which is a sub-label of Nebular Carcoma. Awesome stuff. I'm friends with the label guy. He puts out nothing but really quality black metal, if I don't say so myself. So starting off with this Lampir, The Alchemy of Cursed Blood. And these are all sealed, brand new sealed, by the way. This is a US black metal band, been making a lot of waves in the underground. It's killer. Then I got this one, this Versio Humanitatis, with Silent Dwellers Live. I actually listened to this once a couple weeks ago, and it is fantastic. I had never heard of this band previously, so Silent Dwellers is an album of theirs, and this is basically them playing it live in the studio, not in front of a crowd, live in the studio. From what I've heard, they recorded it all in one take. It's awesome. Comes with a woven patch, by the way. And then I got Velo Mazir, or Maziri, I'm not really sure. Spanish black metal. Versio Humanitatis, Spanish black metal also. Yeah. I won't be able to pronounce that album title since I don't speak Spanish, but yeah. Haven't listened to this one yet, so I need to get on that. If you would like any of these, $11 a piece or $30 for the 3 if you want all 3. I can ship them pretty cheap. In the US, I can ship them media mail. I could probably ship them all, I think, for probably $5. So you'd be looking at like $35 shipped out the door. Yeah, let me know if you want them. I think I still have 2 or 3 of each. I had over 10. They're selling pretty well on Discogs, so I'd imagine they'll probably be gone within the next, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. So if you want one, let me know. Anyways, moving on to my collection stuff here. We're going to start off with Infernal Curse, black death metal band out of Argentina. They formed in 2008. I have the 2015 compilation titled The End Is Upon Us and Celanic Exhumations. It is an EP, or a compilation with both those EPs from 2014 and 2015. All together on one release. Came out via Trauma Records. Not familiar with that label, I will say. Came with a poster as well, which I have somewhere. I used to have it hanging up. I don't know where I put it, but yeah, a small poster, but still really cool. I used it. Infernal Curse are a cool band. They're, like I said, black death metal, almost kind of in that war metal category, but not quite. Maybe a little more black metal than that. But if you like war metal, I think this will probably fit most of that criteria. Really good. I'd actually like to get more of their albums because I do like what I've heard. And we're going to be talking about a Seattle area, Washington death metal band. Underrated in some cases, but yeah, Infernal Legion. I live right on the border of Washington and Idaho, so I wouldn't say these are a local band for me, but these guys probably live 4 to 5 hours away from me. I've never seen them live or anything. They are signed to Moribund Records, and they have been for most, if not all, of their career. They formed in 2000, still active. Starting off with a 2005 second album, Your Prayers Mean Nothing. I actually think this album is fantastic. I think this is a massively underrated death metal album. It's just great. It's got that American death metal sound, a little bit of Florida, a little bit of, I'd say more than the Florida, I'd say like East Coast. You can hear a little bit of immolation in there and stuff like that, but I mean, they do have their own sound. They play a familiar sounding death metal, but they put their own stamp on it. The riffs are memorable and catchy. In fact, I find pretty much this entire album memorable and catchy. Short and sweet. I think it clocks in at around 30 minutes or so. Look into this. Moribund seems to always have copies. It never sells out, and it probably should have by now. Underrated. Get it. Then I have their 4th album from 2018 titled Under the Cloven Hoof. Cool album cover. They got a little bit of a different logo there. Not a bad album, I will say. I don't like it nearly as much as Your Prayers Mean Nothing. I remember I got this back in 2018, and when I first started playing it, I was like, oh man, this sounds like almost like a different band. I figured like they must have had a lineup change or something. No lineup change. Same four guys. I don't know. I just don't find the songwriting to be as good. This has got a little bit of a black metal touch compared to before. There's maybe a little bit of a mortal in the riff writing, and which is kind of cool, and they do make it work, but I just don't feel like these songs are as well written as that last one I showed you. I'm not sure. I can't put my finger on it. I just feel like the songwriting isn't as tight for whatever reason. It's still pretty good. If you find this out in the wild for a decent price, I think you could snag it and probably enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but just not. I was a little let down. And then I have the debut album from Poland's Infernum, which with an album title I'm not going to be able to pronounce. I don't know if that's in Polish. This is the original Astral Wings Records release. It's a bit of a rarity. So this band formed in '92. They're long split up by now. Formed by this guy right here. I don't really know how to pronounce it. He actually suffered from a lot of mental illness and killed himself some years back. This band was kind of brought some controversy for having members like Graveland members. Basically, it got Rob Darkin and Capricornus. I don't think this is technically like an NSBM album. I've never gotten any of that from it, any of those vibes. Listened to this album dozens of times. I don't know if I've read the lyrics, but this seems to be based more on Satanism to me. I think the controversy, and correct me if I'm wrong, please do, but I think the controversy comes pretty much just from having Graveland members, especially Capricornus. He was a super controversial figure. This album is so fucking good. Funny story, this guy actually wanted to kill Fenris at some point in the early 90s. He, like I said, he suffered from a lot of mental illness, untreated, I believe. He had really, really bad schizophrenia, and so he decided to make a trip to Norway to kill Fenris. He claims that they did a trade, and he sent Fenris a bunch of CDs, and he claims that Fenris never sent him anything back. I don't know if he's wrong or correct on that, but so he took a ferry, got off the ferry from Poland, got off in Sweden, and basically was arrested right off the bat. I don't know if that's just how bad his mental illness was, like he couldn't handle himself in public. I'm not sure, but yeah, he was detained immediately by the Swedish police. He had a bunch of like in his backpack, he had a bunch of books on Satanism and satanic music and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, this can't be good, and they basically sent him right back to Poland. Long story short, he never got to kill Fenris. Mental illness is such a problem in this world, not only in '94 but to this day. But anyways, unfortunately, he did not get the treatment he needed. I don't know if he ever bothered, but he just chose to kill himself instead. Like I said, I don't know. This album does come with controversy. I don't get it from the lyrics, but I absolutely love this album. Then I have their second full-length album from 2015. This band formed in 2006 in Portland, Oregon. They're not together anymore. We're talking about Infernus with Grinding Christian Flesh. This also came out on Moribund Records. I remember hearing this band on MySpace back in like 2006 or 8 or something like that, and thinking they sounded really, really good. That demo that I heard is more of like a black thrash metal. This, not quite as thrash oriented on this release. This is more like I hear in this a little bit of Swedish black metal, like a little bit of Marduk and Dark Funeral, just a little. Then I hear other stuff. I hear other American black metal like Thy Infernal. Funny enough, another Portland, Oregon band. So those are the influences that I'm getting. The guitars, I still hear a little bit of thrash in there, like I heard back in 2006. But I'm also hearing a little bit of death metal in the riffs. So yeah, you know what you're getting. This blasting, nasty, violent black metal. It is quite good. I don't reach for it a lot, but it's good. Some of the members are in Uwada, which is a band that I just do not care for. But yeah, there you go. Then we got a band formed in 2011 in the Cleveland, Ohio area. We're talking about Inoculation. This is their sixth release from 2019, titled Anatomize. This is an EP, came in on Maggot Stomp. I really like how Maggot Stomp did this. For those of you that grew up in the 80s and 90s, you might remember these single cases. You'd buy singles. I had a bunch of Metallica ones. They're in these little skinny cases. You flip it around. This is the backside. The CD always faces out clear. Yeah, always thought they were really cool. I don't know how Maggot Stomp got a hold of these cases. I don't know if they still make them or if they just found some that were unused, but good on them. So, Inoculation. I never really did listen to this a lot. It's pretty cool, kind of old school sounding, tech death. I'm getting maybe a little bit of Nocturnus. It's pretty cool. I know they have a full length album out. Came out a year or two ago that a lot of people were talking about, so I actually wouldn't mind hearing that. Then we have the second release from Intolerance out of Spain. Formed back in 2015. This is an EP from 2020. They actually had a debut full-length out this year on Memento Mori, which I'd love to hear. This EP was killer. I've shown it here before. Really good, kind of mid-paced, cavernous death metal. Oddly enough, they remind me of another Spanish death metal band, Ataraxy. So I kind of get Ataraxy vibes from this. This is cavernous death metal. Murky, but still really decent production. Every time I listen to this, it's only 20 minutes or so, but it always holds my attention from start to finish. It starts off with this creepy keyboard sounding intro and it just lurches into this cavernous death metal that doesn't sound like every other cavernous sounding death metal band. This is a band, if you're like me and you're maybe getting slightly burnt out on the thousands of death metal bands out there right now, look into Intolerance because I still feel like they're worth your time. They're definitely worth mine, and like I said, I want to get that full length. This band here I've talked about once or twice here on this channel. Talking about Ireful, thrash metal band out of Italy. I still don't have a jewel case for it. Yeah, The Walls of Madness. Pretty cool album cover there. A lot of people I know kind of got tired of thrash metal after that thrash metal revival in the earlier 2000s. And this band would have been much more successful had they came out around that time. But still, I think they're really good. I think they're actually better than most of those bands. So this band formed in 2019. This EP came out in 2021. Tape version is available on Life After Death, here, a label out of here in the U.S. Yeah, I mean, just good retro thrash metal. I'm getting a lot of Bay Area vibes, a little bit of Testament, a little bit of Death Angel, a little bit of Dark Angel, and occasionally I'll hear a riff that kind of sounds like early Megadeth. Yeah, man, if you like 80s U.S. thrash metal, I think Ireful are worth your time. Then we have this weird 3-disc set that I bought, I don't know, some months back. I don't remember, maybe last year, maybe late last year. It's got 3 discs. It's called The Many Faces of Iron Maiden. It's a cool little set. I think I paid $7 for it. It has no Iron Maiden songs on it. It's got like Iron Maiden songs covered by people like Paul Di'Anno, Ian Gillan Band, Slammer, a shitty British thrash band from the 90s, Black Star Riders, and then it's got a disc of some actually fairly obscure new wave British heavy metal songs and bands. You got stuff like, you got Saxon on here, of course everyone knows Saxon, but then you got bands like Split Beaver and the Handsome Beasts, Buffalo, Twisted Ace, Dragster, Persian Risk, and Shiva. A lot of people don't know most of those bands. You also have Witchfinder General on here, another staple. You got Jaguar, fairly well known. What else? Quartz were kind of right in the middle between obscure and well known. I actually really like Quartz myself, but yeah, it's a decent little set. Especially having those obscure new wave British heavy metal songs on there that, let's face it, a lot of people probably haven't heard. Last, but least in this case. Sorry to say, but we're talking about Iscariota, band formed in Poland in 1992. They were a death metal band, and actually a pretty good Polish death metal band in those early days. However, they're not a death metal band anymore. They play more of like a heavy metal, traditional metal, maybe a little speed, a little thrash, maybe a little hard rock. I just know that I don't like it. So I was given this last year from the label. Came out on Defense Records. Given this to review, but I never did because I'm a dick. I just didn't want to review it. Because I didn't like it, and I don't know. I feel weird about it. I just think it's. I think it's not good. I mean, these guys are they're good musicians. There's nothing wrong with their songwriting. I just don't like it. I mean, maybe it's just me. Definitely check it out and let me know what you think. I think you'd really like their early death metal stuff. Like they have an album I think from '92 or '93 that's actually really good. They should have stuck with death metal, but they didn't, and they're just not very good anymore. This is called Legenda, by the way, and this came out in 2020. This was their 5th full length, so check them out, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me how wrong I am. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for now. Got a bunch of stuff I'm working on. I'll have a new stuff video out in a couple days. Got a Tales from the Dollar Bin movie video I need to make, and I'm still working on my LLN Black Legions video. I'm chipping away at the stone slowly. I'm still probably not halfway done, so it's going to take me at least another 2 weeks to get it done. And when I do upload it, you're probably going to be like, why did this take you a month to make? Like this, but whatever. I think it's going to turn out okay. So anyways, I hope everyone's doing well. We'll talk soon. Louis says hello, and cheers.